In today's video, I'm going to be installing a set of Golf R style Helix headlights on my 2018 Volkswagen e-Golf. If you're not familiar with the e-Golf, it's an all-electric version of Volkswagen's popular Golf model, sold in the United States within 10 states and the District of Columbia. This install is going to be a little bit unique to the e-Golf, but it's fairly similar for other Golf models that come with a halogen headlight package. Now my e-Golf is the SE model, which comes with a halogen set of headlights. It does still have the LED accents on the lower front bumper, but you have to upgrade to the SLE model to get the LEDs that wrap around the low beam and high beam lights. And so with the Helix style Golf R headlights, I'll kind of get that same look, but I think it's going to look even better than the SEL style lights. Now you'll notice that I've also got a set of 19-inch Cadiz wheels. I'm saying that right, Cadiz maybe. These are from the Golf R, and so between the wheels and headlights, this vehicle is definitely going to start looking a little bit more like the Golf R, but with zero emissions at the tailpipe. Now the headlights that I went with for my car, they're from BEC Auto Parts. I'll put a link in the description below. They're out of Canada, and really impressed with the product here. Let you guys know as the install goes, and of course we'll see what the complete product looks like, but on the surface it looks like a really high quality headlight encasement. Really great look to it. It looks a whole lot like the OEM Golf R headlights, so I'm excited. Don't want to take this plastic cover off just yet so I can protect those lenses during the install, but from what I can see, they look really good. You'll see that it comes in a pretty large box. So we've got one headlight out already, another box in there, so I was quite surprised by the size of the packaging, but when you look at the headlight, it's actually quite large, and so it makes sense. Within the box we get that headlight enclosure, as well as these 5500K bulbs. We've got the air canceller lights, so by replacing the fixture in the vehicle, an air light could come on. This will cancel that air light. And this little guy right here is a replacement cap for the back side of those headlights when you install the new bulb. Allows all of the wiring to fit through, and then there's a rubber grommet that goes around that opening. So that's what comes in the box. The install for these headlights is considered fairly simple, but looking through the instructions, it's also pretty tedious. So I've got to remove the front wheels and the front bumper, as well as the grille, in order to access those headlights and remove them. So it's going to be a pretty involved installation. We'll go through all the steps as we go. So once you've got the vehicle jacked up, next step is to remove the driver and passenger side front wheels. Got a couple jack stands down there for safety. And then the next step is to remove the belly pan from the bottom of the vehicle. Now your configuration may be a little different from the e-Golf. I saw 12 T25 Torx screws on the instruction manual. What I found was 8 screws, and then I've got 3 of these that are a T40. So T40 for these 3, T25 for those. Once we get that belly pan off, next step is to remove the front grille. Gonna use that T25 again. We've got 1 screw here, 1 screw here, and you'll see these little clips in here that insert back behind that plastic piece. So you're just going to gently pull that back, and then the grille should just pull away from the vehicle quite easily. Okay, so we got the front grille off. One thing to keep in mind is that along the bottom little lip there, little clips pop into place under that plastic strip. So these little clips there, you'll just have to gently tug and they should pop out fairly easily. You don't want to pull too hard or you might break those clips. So the next step is to remove the lower wheel well liner. That's basically this plastic cover, connects between the bumper and that upper liner. And you'll see we've got to remove screws here, here, here. And then there's also a lower one connecting underneath here. So those just connect through and underneath. Once that's off, then you've got to disconnect the front fog lights if you have one. This is my little adapter, connects right up in there. Slightly different adapter than what you're going to get on other Golf models. Once that's removed, then you need to do the same on the other side of the vehicle. The next step is to remove the front bumper. And in order to do that, you're going to find that there are a couple screws where it's connected here. And then it's primarily actually just plastic tabs in there. So you can see that I've pulled away a portion of this driver's side of the bumper. I'm going to do the same on the passenger side. And then we've got a number of clips along the front here as well. So again, you're just pulling very gently. In some cases, you may need to push down a little bit on the clips to get that free. So to remove the headlight from the vehicle, there are 3 screws that need to be removed. One up here in the front, one at the back, and then one down below here. Once those 3 screws are off, then you need to disconnect the electrical connection here. Just pull that out gently and then that'll reconnect into the new headlight. The new lights are in and they look awesome. You can see for starters, it's got much more of a blue color to it, but it's really sleek profile. I love the way that it looks. Those LED strips wrapping around both the low and the high beam. See that texture inside of the lens there? Looks just awesome, especially compared with the halogen fixtures. Now I'll turn on the blinker and we'll do the high beams as well so that you can see what it looks like in each of those settings. So here we are with the blinkers. You can see on the new headlights, it's sequential with those same strips where we have the daytime running lights. Looks really cool. Love that. Compared with just the ordinary halogen over on the driver's side. Really transforms the look. And now with the high beams on, incredibly bright fixture. I'm curious to see how it performs in dark conditions compared with the original halogens. I'm expecting much better visibility. And again, over on the halogen side, main difference being that it's a very yellowish light. So now that we've got one installed, I'm going to go through the instructions for the other side and then we'll put things back together. Now there are a few steps before you can install the fixture. We've got to put the low beam light into the fixture, and then we've got to connect the ballast, and there's a number of cables that all need to be connected. Pretty simple install, but I'll go through the steps anyway. So we flip the fixture over here. This is the low beam light right here. So we're going to take off this plastic cover, and twist that off and pull it off. And then inside, you'll see there's this little green circular piece. We're going to twist that off as well. So be careful as you're pulling this off that you don't lose it inside of the fixture. And then once it's off, you'll see that there's a little tab here. This whole thing separates apart that direction. So we've got to push down on this tab and then pull it apart like that. Okay, so next we're going to take the headlight fixture, and it's got this cover on here because you don't really want it to come into contact with anything, including your hands. It can decrease the life of the fixture. Once it's off, again, be very careful not to touch the bulb itself. This little cap will come off. And then you'll see that there's a little blue piece on one side. That's got to face down in the light fixture at the 6 o'clock position. So I've got it upside down, so on the camera it's going to be facing up. We're going to take this little green fixture and we're going to put the light inside and then close this guy back up. And then you'll see that there's a little tab on the light that lines up with a tab on the little green guy. So I'll show you that lined up there. With that lined up, these two pieces here and those two there line up with these gaps on this metal guy. Again, we need to have the blue in the 6 o'clock position when we're done, and so in order for that to happen, we want to start this guy down that direction. Let's see, think about this. Now we'll want to start it up this side here, and then once we twist, it'll put it into that 6 o'clock position. So twist that until it won't go any further, and now you'll see that it's secured and we're in the 6 o'clock position. Next step, we're gonna unclip these wires here. Okay, so you'll see this little rubber grommet here, and we've got this replacement cap that comes with the package that's got a hole in it. That rubber grommet is gonna fit through there. Now, this first device here won't fit through this guy, so we're actually gonna pull it out. There's two little holes that this will just slide through, and then we will put these guys through. We'll actually go ahead and get this rubber grommet in here. It does take a little bit of play to get it all in there just right, but important that you get a good seal so that no dust or water or anything can get into the light fixture itself. So got that on there. Tight fit on this side, tight fit on that side. And now that we got that on there, we'll take this one and we'll thread these right back through. It's a tight hole, so it takes a little bit of care to get it in there. Push that one in, and the other one. And once those are in, we're going to connect here. You'll see, at least on the e-Golf, we've got a blue wire and a black wire on the fixture. So we're going to connect our blue wire with the blue, and then the white wire with the black. Once we got both of those on there, we're going to take this cap here and we're going to screw it back on. One thing to note is that there is a little rubber seal on here. You want to make sure that that's still there. Again, it's essential that you get a really nice tight compartment so nothing can get in there. And now we just got our wire sticking out here. So the next step is you'll get this ballast, and it's got an error canceller in it so that when you install the fixture you won't get any error lights in the vehicle. And then there's some wires here that will connect. So we've got a male wire that's going to connect to the female. And then another two that connect. Okay, so that one's connected. And then also on this guy, we've got one more connection. That's going to connect there. So those are all connected, and then there's one more wire. This is the grounding wire. We'll connect that to the frame of the vehicle once we get the fixture installed. So those are the steps for putting the whole fixture together. Once you've got the old fixture removed, then it'll install the same way that the old one came out. One other thing to note is that there are a few clips that need to come off the old light and go onto the new one. These help secure it in the vehicle. So this little guy slips off there. Just reinsert it over on the new fixture, and then likewise this one here will move over to this location. So pretty simple. Want to make sure to do that so that it fits in nice and snug. So installing the light fixture onto the vehicle, one thing I forgot to mention is you also remove this screw from the old fixture and reuse that. So we're going to insert the screws in those same three spots that we removed them to begin with. We're also going to put this ground wire on this connection here so that we're grounded with that, and so we'll just screw that on with the screw. Once I get that all on, then what we're going to need to do is basically mount all of this so it's kind of out of the way. So you'll see that inside the engine compartment you get quite a bit of wires in here with the ballast and these air canceller and this little guy here. So a lot of kind of clutter that needs to be cleaned up. You'll see on the passenger side that I cleaned it up by using some double-sided tape. And so the ballast is attached directly to the headlight encasement. I've got the air canceller attached to that, and then just above it, on the other side of the ballast, I've got this other little box. I've got two zip ties, cleaning up all the wires and holding them together, and you can see it's a pretty nice clean overall arrangement. So now that the headlights are installed, the last step is to put it all back together the way that we took it apart. So we're going to get the bumper on, the grille, the cover on the bottom, and the wheels. Once that's all done, then we'll do a proper reveal of the e-Golf with its new set of Golf R Helix headlights. So the new fixtures are installed and they look absolutely awesome. I would highly recommend this fixture from BEC Auto Parts to anybody that's looking to go the Helix style route on their Golf model. It's got a really premium look and it just completely transforms the look of the e-Golf. You can see that it just has a really upscale look. And in combination, especially with those Golf R wheels, just gives the vehicle a really premium look. Love the overall style of the fixture. Let's do it without that low beam fixture on so you can see the strips a little bit better. Really cool how they wrap around the fixture. You can see that color difference a little bit. It's actually a little more pronounced on the screen than it is in real life, but it is definitely a slight difference. And there's those sequential fixtures. I love how it's sequential but also slightly subtle. Really cool. And of course it's using that same LED strip that we've got for the daytime running lights. They just turn into the amber color. Goes really nicely with that marker on the mirror there. Also worth noting that the new fixtures are very bright. They really increase the light quality driving down the road. Light up the road a lot better than the old halogens did. So really pleased with this new fixture. Not only is it functional, but of course it looks a whole lot better. If you're on the Helix market, I would highly recommend looking at this fixture from BEC. It's high quality and a really simple plug and play installation. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the section below. For more videos on the Volkswagen e-Golf, subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching.